Welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. D. The entire goal of this podcast is to help you see that you have it within you to do amazing things. Okay, here we are.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. D. Love that you join us. This has been a good start to the year. I've had guests every week, I think since the start of the year. Last weekend was Cher. This weekend is Jay. Next weekend, I think it's Brad Case. So here we are. Welcome. Glad you're here. I have with me Jay McDonald, who's just staring at me intently. So let's get started. So this isn't a question that's on the list. I like to kind of do this a little impromptu. And that is for you to introduce yourself to the world. This, I've got some followers, some people listen to this, people that don't know you, like I know you pretty well. Introduce yourself.
Hey.
That's trademark.
Hey.
That is gold.
My name's Jay McDonald. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
So married.
Married.
Yeah.
Got the ring.
Okay.
Yeah, tricked her.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. We had a COVID wedding.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was great. It was kind of ideal because you don't have to worry about inviting anybody and everybody.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah. Boy, wasn't that a time period?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The end of the world.
And so that was, you guys got married in 2020, 2021.
2020.
It was 2020.
Followed by the birth of Cody in 2021.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Is she 5 yet?
No, 4.
She's 4.
4.
Oh, she's a character.
Got her first haircut shortly before her 4th birthday.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. Who cut her hair?
There is a place in Yakima that's just devoted for kids. And I mean, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife took her there after a family member had brought her.
And then, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giselle is 10th, 11th? 10th.
10th grade.
10th.
Yeah.
Just started driving.
Like
she's driving on her own now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
To think.
I remember the first day when she just took off and I was following her, and it was kind of a weird experience.
Yeah.
To see her drive away. And
kind of surreal.
Yeah.
I have pictures from, let's see, how old is she?
She is 16.
I actually think it was a birthday party for Chiba, but of you in my backyard when I lived on Dennis Street, when we had a party back there, and you had Giselle, and she was like 4 years old or something.
Yeah, she was little.
Yeah.
Little.
You were a single dad for a long time.
Yeah.
How long?
Oh, I don't know.
Decade? 8 years?
No, I mean, there were some relationships there.
Yeah. Yeah. Weaved in and out a little bit. But I've always admired you for that. Yeah. Now Sam's been a strong, positive influence in her life.
Yeah, she has. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
been a really good experience as far as that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you do to pay the bills?
I am a nurse.
You are?
Yeah.
How long have you been a nurse now?
Well, I got my LPN license in 2016, and followed by when I finished up the nursing program, I got my RN degree, or RN license. It was actually an associate's degree, but
yeah.
So
but that gets you your RN.
Yeah.
Yes. I just learned that talking to you. I don't know why I always assumed that was a bachelor's degree to get an RN, but it's not.
Nope.
That's cool. That's good. So someone can start working pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's about 2 years of prerequisites.
Okay.
And then
for the RN.
To get into a nursing program.
Okay.
And then typically 2-year program to complete the associate's degree or whatever.
So like you're doing enough that would be equivalent to a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. And I had already done a bachelor's degree in biology.
Up here?
Yes.
Okay. That's all right. So then you did another 2 years down there.
Yeah.
But you don't end up with what you should, a master's degree. You just can get an RN, the license.
Yeah.
Yes? And you're now working on your master's degree, though.
Yeah,
We've been talking about
I
that.
did my bachelor's degree in nursing last year and working on my master's degree currently.
Wow.
If I wasn't here right now, that is what I
You'd
would
be
be
doing
doing.
homework. Well, thank you for giving up your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Okay, so married, 2 kids, work in the healthcare industry. You have done that. You were in construction.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You were a framer.
Yeah, I was building houses around here, up in Suncadia.
Who did you
Tunnel
work
Creek.
with?
Well, one of the first guys that I worked with for a few years was Lance Knight.
Okay,
He was fun. He was
Okay.
It was a good crew. I have fond memories of that time.
good.
The guy after John, I don't remember his last name.
Okay.
But yeah, very good guy. And then I have a family member who ended up getting me into the Carpenters Union over on the west side.
Oh,
So I ended up moving over there.
when did you move over there?
Oh gosh, it was like 2006, I would say.
Okay, so
Yeah,
before we met,
No, we had met
okay,
prior to that.
yeah, we had.
We knew
Okay,
each other a long time.
we have. Because that
Yeah.
was the next. I was thinking in my brain how long we've known each other. A long time.
Yeah.
You used to have a backpack you'd carry around. I remember when you were young. Because you're 40,
43 now.
you're 43. Long
Oh,
time.
man.
So I'd say we met, what? Well, what year do you think we met? 2003, 4?
early 2000s. Yeah, probably 2003.
So then you moved to the west side. How long was that with, what's her name?
Jen?
Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you guys were together off and on for a while.
We were together for a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you moved over there. You got in the
Moved
Carpenters
over there.
Union over there.
Yeah.
Where were you living?
It was right on the border between Woodinville and gosh, what's the other name of the other town right there? Kirkland. We were technically in Kirkland, but it was right on the. It was actually King's Place.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I lived right next door to the hockey arena where the Thunderbirds practiced.
Oh, fun. Okay. How long were you over there?
2 or 3 years.
Did you like it?
I mean, yes and no. You kind of adapt to any environment.
Yeah.
I ended up buying some kayaks while we were there and would go down to Lake Washington. And
Oh, you love that.
yeah, that was cool.
You
It was
really
a
like
cool
that.
experience.
Because you've done a lot of kayaking.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you kind of adapt to the
Yeah, you do.
where you're at. I took those kayaks out in the sound and did all sorts of stuff.
Now, I'm trying to remember, your dad lived, because he passed. Did your dad pass?
Yeah, he passed away.
Okay, that's all right. Up north?
In Darrington.
Darrington, which is by not Anacortes, on more this side.
Yeah, so if you go about an hour north of Seattle, you're going to go through Everett, Marysville, and then Arlington.
Arlington, yes.
I mostly grew up in Arlington, but
That's right, okay.
yeah, I spent a few years in Darrington, then Oso. And then,
You and Steven are close to the same age.
yeah,
Did you guys know each other?
no.
Because he's from that area.
Yeah, no, I didn't know him until we met up over here.
Interesting. Okay. Now, yeah, so that was the question, Nia. We've known each other a long time, over 20 years. And I can laugh about it now. We broke up for a little while.
Yeah.
We broke up
Yeah.
for a little while because I was an ass. I remember it. And it was, I don't know, would we take a 2-year-ish?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it was just oddly enough, it was about that same time, not too long after that. Oh God, Ryan and I had a fight and broke up. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, but
Life.
yeah, life's interesting.
Sure is.
Okay, so there we go. So there's your introduction to Jay. I consider you. Huh, there it is. You're in my book.
In the book.
Yeah, with the support of many friends. And you, I consider someone, I always like to say this because I think it's funny to say it how I say it, are squarely in my circle of influence. Yes.
That sounds about right.
You're someone that, we communicate pretty regularly. But if I'm struggling, you're someone I'm going to reach out to. And you've always had a way about you that I feel like I can just share whatever with you and it's going to be okay. And we've laughed a lot. We've had a lot of fun.
Yes, we had.
I think you were with when we would make those trips over to Seattle with Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
In the crazy days.
Yeah,
that was some fun.
Crazy days, yeah.
Yeah. He was hilarious.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I miss Ryan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same.
Crazy.
All right. Now, your mom lives here. Okay, so where would you say you are from?
Well, I mean, generally the west side, right? The west side.
Yeah.
That's how we got it over here.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I spent a few years in Arlington, and then we lived in tiny.
Yeah. People know Oso. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and within Oso, there is this tiny little trailer.
Okay.
And that's right next to the Grange or the big white building. Right when you get, right when you're coming in, heading up towards Darrington, right past that, there's a little tiny white trailer on the right, and that's
it's still there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you lived there with your mom?
Yep.
Your dad?
Nope. They had split up. They split up when I was 2.
So your mom, you, and your brother?
No, he wasn't. My mom remarried.
Okay.
We moved in when I was 5.
Oh.
That's when we moved to Arlington.
Okay. So you would say you're from the west side, but you've been here
long time now.
Long time.
Yeah, since late 90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Long. Yeah, you can almost say you're from Ellensburg. I remember when I moved here in 2001, and I was with Fred Meyer, and people, it was, like, oh, you're a West Sider, blah, blah, blah. People either really were excited about Fred Meyer or they just thought it was the devil, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I was getting to know people, and Dave Bastian, who now he lives on the West Side, he's from here. I remember asking him, so Dave, how long do I have to live here before I can say I'm from Ellensburg? He's like 30 years. That's always just stuck in my head. So you're almost there.
Well, and then I cheated. I went back to the west side for a couple of years. So.
The clock starts again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. I always think it's funny when we do that, you need to go back to where you came from or don't come over here. And it's like, we're all from the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. You want to do a question?
Sure.
Here we go. So you work in home health and hospice care, walking alongside people and families during some of the most vulnerable moments of their lives. How has that work shaped the way you see life, presence, and what really matters?
Well, I think kind of in line with that, when my dad passed away, like there was a very real understanding that, everybody's got an expiration date.
Yeah.
Right. And that kind of changes your perspective. Home health and hospice, right? 2 completely different things.
They are. A lot of people don't understand.
And it's, you can go from one extreme to the next, right? Like, home health, we're focused on getting people better or getting them to their max potential. Oftentimes we're getting people after they just got out of the hospital for some reason, had some, cardiac event or, fell and broke something and, medication changes and just
keeping them healthy, getting them healthy. Okay.
Connecting with their doctor's office, kind of being that go-between because often people have a hard time getting back and forth to the doctor's office. And, and then hospice is all about keeping people comfortable. It's a little different mind frame. But both of those experiences have given me some unique opportunities to have some, very intimate moments with people who I probably would have no other, interaction with. And it's, time and family, it's all precious.
Mm.
You know, you if you ask people, you know, in their, you know, end days, what's important to them, the majority of people will say, you know, family.
Mm-hmm.
They want more time with family,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's oftentimes you see these really beautiful moments with families coming together, and you know, for the most part, people are ready when the time comes.
Mm.
You know, I remember when I was a kid, just randomly thinking about death, and you know, having this fear about it, and for the most part, what you see is when the time comes, you know, there's an acceptance. People embrace it. You know, I've heard people talk about, you know, I'm looking forward to this next journey, this final journey. You know, like what's this going to be like? This experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's typically people who are a little younger or have some things unfinished that have a little bit more difficulty with it. You know, and you can have a say on, you know, how long you live. I mean, you can definitely put up a fight, but it'll get you. Life will get you. You know.
Do you find that? Do you find that there's more acceptance from the person who's dying than from the family members accepting it?
There's a fair amount of that. Often, well, sometimes people are they're really trying to push through for their family. You know, they are, and part of our job is just to have conversations with people and find out what's important to them, and somewhere along that process, you know, giving them permission to let go, like invalidating the things that they're experiencing, and just the, you know, you're tired, your body's shutting down, you're tired, and it's okay to rest. It's okay to do the things that you need to do to just be comfortable. You know, it's very common to lose your appetite at end of life, and you know, as family, you know, we're constantly
food.
You need to eat. You need to eat.
Yeah.
And you know, people lose their appetite. And that's just a normal part as things are shutting down. So just validating that what they're feeling, what they're thinking, that's totally appropriate at this point in your life. And just giving them the time and the space to verbalize what's going on in their head in the presence of their family, so that they can hear it from them.
Yeah, as we're having this conversation, it's, you know, it's bringing back when I walked through my mom with hospice, and Chad, who was phenomenal in his role as a hospice care nurse. I remember the conversation he and I had. We went outside and we were in my mom's yard, and I'm a realist, you know. I very kindly, I'm like, you know, I'm asking you, what do you think? You know, how long? And we had this conversation about end of life, and he was compassionate and caring, and I remember him, after I asked him, I wanted to hear, how long do you think my mom's got? And he says, well, you know, I can't say for sure, but this is what I've seen, right? I'm sure you've had that conversation. And there was part of me that was like, okay. And then there was another part of me that, as a family member, seeing my mom, who's very lucid and very, you know, nah, he was almost exactly correct with what, you know, because he's seen this again and again. And just listening to you now and watching Mom as she lost her appetite, and my sister and I and Katrina were like, Mom, you need to eat. And I know, you know, if my sister's, it was hard, but you know, we're struggling with seeing our family member who there's part of me that knew, oh, there were the markers that our hospice nurse, the call. Yeah. I'm going to jump around a little bit. Mom was struggling one night, and we called. And I don't know if it was Chad or the on-call nurse. I think it was the on-call. Very professional. Asked the question, because I remember when Chad brought over the morphine. You know, you bring over the two meds. There's one that's the barbiturate. What is it? Lorazepam. We had been given, benzo. And then there's the morphine, you know. And I remember that individual saying, have you started giving her the morphine yet? I'm like, oh, no. And he was very kind, and you might consider that. And that's when I'm getting a little emotional, because that's when I went, oh, this is really real. And it's hard. And here I am, just a family, not just a family member, but you guys see this on a daily basis. Like that's a lot.
It can be a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is some satisfaction providing, that level of help and, like quality of life at a time that can be very challenging. I mean, it is a very rewarding job.
Yeah.
Emotionally taxing.
Yeah. 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 So let's see, Walker. Yeah. What's vulnerable? How is that work shaped? So has it changed? Cause you've lived a pretty full life yourself, in a lot of different ways, working in hospice. Cause you've done this for how long now? 6 years, 5 years?
With hospice. Just a little over 4 years.
Has it changed how you view life?
I mean, absolutely, right? One of the very interesting things that I found early on is that it is extremely common for people in the last days of life to start talking to and interacting with things that I don't see, right? You oftentimes find people talking to people who have previously passed, right? As if they're in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Interesting.
Right? Very,
Interesting.
So, yeah. How do you interpret that, right? Like, is this because their brain is shutting down and there's all these chemicals that are changing and, right, toxins building up? But why over and over and over again are they talking with past loved ones who are comforting them? And it's an amazing thing to see.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
So life. Weird. Life is weird.
For sure. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Question number 2. As a father, husband, and friend, how have your life experiences influenced the way you show up for the people closest to you? Because you do show up in a way that is, like I said, I'm not just calling anyone if I'm really struggling. Like, I don't want to call anyone, but if I'm thinking of calling someone, you're going to be at the top of the list. Andy's going to be at the top of the list. Corey's going to be, like, if I just need someone to just be a certain, know, how has your life created the you that you are today and the way you are? Because you do show up in a pretty unique way for people.
Well, I mean, based on history and just, some of the experiences. And I'd love to say that I'm not distracted. There are, sometimes you gotta, as my wife would say, put the phone down,
Sure.
But I do try and be present, and I have to, I don't know if other people experience this, but, get to talking, and then all of a sudden I'll just rabbit trail off somewhere else, and then all of a sudden oh, we're having a conversation.
Can you catch me up on that? Yeah.
But I, as I'm having conversations with people, I'm trying to relate what's going on and, just try and pull up some of my experiences and just do my best to actively listen. Just, I try and focus and give people the time to talk and express what's going on, and also not sharing those things with other people. I think that is important, just to allow somebody the safety to be able to verbalize what's going on in their head, because if you let stuff just rattle around in there, it can cause some problems. So there has to be, you have to have safe people and areas. So I would say this is a learned skill for you based on your life. So who has been there for you along the way in this way? Well, I mean, there's been a variety of people over the years. I mean, you being one of them, right? Like I've been able to talk with you about stuff before in the past. A variety. I remember having kind of, so my parents split up when I was relatively young,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember having some questions about just who my dad was years later, and I remember just like uh, prompting him one day, like, "Hey, like, where do you stand on this?" And he was, just very straightforward, and
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, it's good to have those kind of more in-depth conversations with people and kind of find out who they are. You know, Ryan was a person, I could talk to. I've had plenty of good conversations with Andy. Glenn, who has also since passed. Man, I've had tons of great conversations with him.
Okay.
He's definitely there to listen, and had lots of interesting life experiences himself. And
Do you think it's the people that have lived what we might call full lives, with a lot of different roads they've been down and experiences, that those are the people that are better suited to be in a position to be empathetic like you are and be good listeners and have more open minds? Like Andy's someone, like I've never had a bad talk with that guy. Like,
Yeah.
And you're the same. Like we had our little, breakup. That was because I was an ass. But I've always felt comfortable talking to you. Do you think it's because of life and experiences, or do you think it's from parenting, or what do you think that comes from?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, it's hard to say like what defines a full life, right? Like, I don't know necessarily, right? Because we're all different. We all have different life experiences, and it is good to talk with. When you're opening up to somebody, you don't just dump everything on the table initially,
No.
right? Like you just kind of throw some stuff out
Broach
there.
it out. Yeah.
See how things play out.
I'm going to see what he does with this. Yeah.
As you get more history with that person, and there is that establishment of safety, and you are able to have more in-depth conversations, and you probably are going to get to know that person on a much more intimate level than you otherwise would have. I can't really think of anyone who I've had really in-depth conversations with that I haven't really gotten a lot from them. There's so many different people and different experiences. I don't know. It's you have something to learn from everybody.
From everyone. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's do another question. You've spent years in healthcare and caregiving roles. What's something you wish, and this kind of goes off of the question we just walked through. Maybe this will tease some more stuff out of Jay's brain in this way. What's something you wish more people understood about compassion, dignity, and meeting people where they are?
Well, yeah. So in this job, we are going into people's homes, and you get a wide spectrum of experiences, right? But you really do have to factor in, right? Like, this is a person. This is, I need to take judgment, because I'm human, right? Like, you go into situations and
we all judge.
What's going on in here?
I always say to students when I'm talking about ethics and things like that, and it's just the reality that we all judge. It's what you do with that judgment, right? So go on.
Yeah, so I just show up, right? Like, what are your needs? What are your desires? Typically, especially with hospice, there's a big portion of what hospice is allowing somebody to do life review, give them a time to, process things, talk about anything in the past that they've had difficulty with. And, you really get to know somebody through that process. And, it can kind of bring to light some things that, you might not have when you first walk in,
Yeah.
like first appearances, like that whole thing.
You end up hearing some heavy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you think you show up that allows that to happen for that person? What is it about you?
Being present, right? Giving time and doing active listening when you're engaged. Like we show up, we have we got to get X, Y, and Z done, right? Yep. Like, especially when we're first meeting someone and we're getting them started.
Yep.
There is so many questions we got to go over.
Yep.
Right. Like it is a lot. And you're just throwing so much information at people too. Like it's, but you, in the middle of all that, right? Like you need to take the time to connect and just ask questions about what's important to people and listen, and validate what they're experiencing and just provide presence. Time is limited at the end, and giving somebody your time is valuable.
I'm hearing there's some common themes that I'm hearing from you, and one is being present. And what does it mean to be present? I'm hearing you say, taking the judgment away, allowing people to be where they are, active listening, which is a skill, right? But you've said it a few times, just being present. And I think that's an important one. I remember when Chad came, we were all, we were waiting for him, me and my sister, because Mom went into hospice. And I remember he had a whole bunch of processes that he had to go through. But one thing that he was really good at, in which I think you are the same, is also being human, right? He wasn't just a nurse, just, some person from the hospital doing a job. He was a human, and he shared that. And we actually had, I think he's in our, we had the whole family in Mom's tiny little place. You might remember seeing the picture, and we took a picture. We had like 30 people in there. I think he's in that picture.
Yeah.
Because we brought him into our family. And I think you probably have had that same thing happen with you in different ways, because you bring that. And I think it's a skill. It's something that you've developed over time, not just, all of a sudden in hospice care, but just you as a human, that you allow people to be where they are when they're at that place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allowing people to be people.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable, express whatever they need to express. Just being there, giving them their time and presence.
So last year my niece passed, and it was fairly sudden, and we spent time up at St. Joe's in Tacoma in the ICU. And I'm going to get to a question for you. You can just answer it very generically. You don't have to say any specific time. But I was like, oh, wow. We had a lot of family there in the ICU coming and going. And they were very accommodating, very kind. And I remember one of the doctors, I was having a conversation with him, and he says, he didn't like say thank you in a way like, oh, thank you. He was just like, it's really, really nice to see all the family here. And I'm like, well, yeah, and he's like, well, it was the nurse. She's like, a lot of people die alone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do you see that?
That does happen. I wouldn't say in our program that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Because one of the requirements for being on hospice is you have to have somebody there, because we're not.
Got it.
We're not going to.
So what happens if someone doesn't?
So you stay in the hospital.
Okay.
Or you can go to like
to a home.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are people there that you're not dying alone, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have had times where they're, for whatever reason, the primary, caregiver didn't work out, or whatever the reason is.
Wow. Yeah.
And we have had to do called continuous care, where it's just our team there all the time. And you will find that people are coming and going, right? But there can be those incidences where, for whatever reason, like they're the last one left, and right, like or become estranged from family. Oftentimes this process kind of brings people back together and allows them a time and a place to kind of put things to bed. And, but yeah, that
can happen.
Does
and
happen.
Even more powerful or good that people like you and Chad and the other hospice nurses that are around, so that someone doesn't die alone. I say this about weddings and funerals. I know you see this. It's when it brings all the family stuff out.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to bet that end of life, that's when families may be a little more willing to put things aside than weddings, because some families act really weird. But yeah, so I was curious about that. So in our community, someone's not going to be the structure. And I remember this with Mom. We were like, yeah, we have people that can someone be there with her. So that's part of, before someone goes to hospice, is their family to care for that person. Yeah, that's good.
And there is a service that's provided here in the community. It's called NODA, No One Dies Alone. Right? There are hospice volunteers.
Yes, that's right.
Kind of band together.
Yes,
to come
I remember that.
and
Yeah,
stay with people and
not that, but the Meals on Wheels. Mom had that put in place, and we are fortunate. And I know there's many communities like this, but we're fortunate in our community that we have a strong level of support in all areas, but I think also in this area with volunteers.
We do have a great community.
Yeah.
When you look at all the support that the community has, it is amazing.
I always say that for being a rural, we've got a lot. We're fortunate. Okay. Last question for you, and then we're going to wrap this up. So as we've been talking, this kind of work can be emotionally demanding, right? Duh. What helps you to stay grounded and continue showing up with care and intention?
Well, developing a relationship with God is definitely something that I've done and I've leaned more on over the years. Also, mindfulness practices, being present, like pulling your brain is an organ, right? Like your nervous system. And, my mind can wander and take me into weird places if I'm not actively, utilizing it on something. And having the ability to pull myself back into the moment, right? Because everything in this moment is okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's when I'm worried about the future or stressed about the past, right?
Yeah.
But in this moment, rarely is I can't think of a time in my life where in the moment things weren't okay on some level, right? So just having that ability to detach from whatever, fear or what is going on and just pull myself back into the moment and through meditation and one of the great things that my employer provides is a meditation app called Headspace. Apparently it's like $75 a month if you're paying for it yourself, but my employer does pay for it, and I appreciate it very much. Everything from, there's all sorts of like guided series, on anxiety or depression or, whatever in between. And there's also just like short little, like 1 minute breathing sessions. There's like a flower that like expands as it's taking a breath. Yeah. And I watch that stuff with my kids. That's oftentimes when we're waiting for the bus. Cody will ask, can we take some breaths? Right. Like it's the cutest little thing.
Awesome.
And
it's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also, there's like little sleep stories, just kind of help settle your mind and help you to relax. Meditation's actually been a pretty amazing thing for me over the years, just being able to relax the body. And Yeah, so those are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things that I utilize. I would always say that I have plenty of room uh, to improve upon my active relationship with God, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I could always be spending more time
Mm-hmm.
trying to, improve that relationship. There's been plenty of times in the past where I have been having a moment, just really struggling in the moment, and just, a quick little prayer, right, is just so
Mm-hmm.
relieving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to just connect.
Mm-hmm.
And that has helped me greatly. Just
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the best at always thinking about like, hey,
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
I
Yeah.
could connect in this
Yeah.
moment, but
Mm-hmm.
when I do, there is great relief in it.
I hear that. So if I'm hearing you correctly, your relationship with God is helpful. I'm also hearing using meditation skills, a variety of different meditation skills, and that it's a works in practice, right?
Hmm.
I when you're talking about mindfulness is huge for me, and having gone through a lot of counseling, I went through DBT, and one of the best skills that I still use in my life to this day is called radical acceptance. You've heard of
Hmm.
that,
Yeah.
right? This is what we got. This is where I'm at in this moment with whatever's, and it's not that we have to go, oh, this is great. It is what it is, and it's temporary, right? No, something that I use for myself that I can almost guarantee you is feelings are temporary. How I'm
Hmm.
feeling now, while I'm not being dismissive of it, it's temporary. Another feeling's going to come, and yeah. So I appreciate what you said about that. I definitely the meditation and the mindfulness and staying in the moment. What's out there, I'm not sure. When you were talking about people in their closing days, talking to people who haven't been here in a long time, I look at those things and I go twofold. Well, the brain's doing different
Hmm.
things, or okay, cool. Like our little dog Daisy just died, and there's her ashes up there, and I talk about, oh, she's up in the sky, with Chiba now, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I appreciate your perspective. I always have. So thank you for sharing that. I think it'll be helpful for people, and that goes into our closing question for you. This is a good segue into that. What's a message of hope you would offer to someone listening who's navigating serious illness issues, caregiving, or just in a difficult period of their own life? What's that message of hope you would offer to them?
Well, I guess the message of hope is that there is help out there. You
Mm,
know, uh, if you need help, reach out for it. I think sometimes people have a hard time reaching out for help. There's a lot of caregiver assistance here in the community.
mm, mm-hmm,
It can be very difficult taking care of somebody.
mm, mm-hmm,
Like you're devoting a lot of time and energy, and you do need time for yourself to take care of yourself.
mm,
I know that one of the big things that can like be a challenge after somebody's passed is all of a sudden you have all this time
yeah,
and what do you do with that time? You've been devoting
yeah,
all this time and energy and you know um as far as somebody dealing with a challenging health condition and concerns about what to do and how to do it, if we're talking about end of life, it really depends on what you want. I mean,
mm,
sometimes there is a treatment for whatever you're going through,
mm,
but there's often some pretty significant side effects, and you
mm,
you see people weigh that out.
yeah,
Like, yes, I can get more time, but I'm going to feel
yeah,
terrible,
yeah,
and what's more important, have you accomplished the things in your life that you've
mm,
wanted to,
mm,
and we're here to support you no matter which way you want to go with that.
mm-hmm,
If your
mm-hmm,
goal is to strive towards getting better
mm-hmm,
and do that route, there's some things that home health can offer, and
mm-hmm,
same to be said with hospice.
mm-hmm,
When if you're ready
mm-hmm,
to just, and it's not necessarily let go,
mm-hmm,
but to just focus on on quality of life and symptom management.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hospice isn't a death sentence. People do graduate from hospice. We've had people who looked like they were appropriate for hospice, and then after a period of time, they got better, and you can graduate.
Okay. Yeah.
And then come back at a later time, you know, when things have changed. But that does happen. You know, it's and as far as I know, we talked a little bit about morphine early on, and that, like, that realization that you had, and like, we're there now, right? Like, oftentimes people do feel like morphine and, you know, starting to take those meds is like a death sentence, where you're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, sure.
What I want people to know is I have seen the impact of somebody not taking those comfort meds.
Yeah.
And yes, sometimes you do live longer, but that's because your body is in such discomfort, but that it can't relax to be able to let go. You're on your way out regardless.
Yeah.
You know, and
how do you want to go?
How do you want to go?
Yeah.
Right. It kind of depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
As far as a message of hope.
Yep.
I mean, based on my experiences with people seeing past loved ones, right? I'd say you're on your way to a new journey. You know, I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is such a common experience. It happens so often, and it is interesting to just sit there and be present in those moments and just observe what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I like, you know, I like that you started with, and this is a little bit of a plug, and I think it's a good plug, that there are resources out there to help people with health conditions, right? Especially for end of life. I think you were alluding to for family members, because I'm pretty sure Chad talked about this, that even us as family, we could have a relief person come. That way mom would never be alone. We were fortunate we never had to have that happen, but, you know, just those little things. So asking for help, I think is hard. Yes. Because I think in my own self, sometimes, you know, nope, I'm going to do it all myself. And there's resources out there. And I think you talking about being realistic, you can have hope and be realistic at the same time, you know, for whatever's coming next, right? So those are all good things. But the key one, I think that you talk about, you know, if we're talking about hospice, is there's resources out there for help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. What's a question? Now, I'm a little nervous with you, of all people. I don't know why. What's a question you've always wanted to ask me?
You know, honestly, I couldn't think of anything, because if I've ever had a question, I've just
asked,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess my question in this moment is, tell me a little bit more about what you're doing right now with all of this that's going on right now.
No, that's good.
What are you hoping to do? What's your
why? Why am I doing this? Yeah. So this particular, the podcast, I started it because of Tyler. So Tyler, my son, he's told me, you know, different things along the way, and I never like to listen to him because he's my kid. What does he know? Blah, that's kind of a joke, right? But he said, you know, Dad, you should start a podcast. I'm like, all right. So I started it. It's been just over a year ago. It was just me doing it, and it was cool. And then I think it was him who said, you should have guests on. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm like, okay. All of this. So having guests has been really cool. Like, I've had people, like having you on, I've known you for 20 something years. I learned new things about you. And my overall mantra in life is I want people to see that they have it within them to do amazing things. That's it. Everything I do, my teaching on campus, my work in the community, this, you know, being a father or grandfather, when I'm talking to the grandsons, you know, whether I'm challenging them or encouraging them, I want them to see that, like, look at you. Look what you've done with your life. You haven't, you know, been handed the best deck of cards to live your life with, but yet here you are, right? So that's my thing. That sign that's on the wall, they can't see it on the camera. My sister gave me that. He believed he could, so he did. Mm-hmm. Right? And you do that. So that's the why. I love what I get to do as a community member. You know, I believe that the best way we can have a positive effect on society as a whole, which I think we could all agree that right now it's a bit of a shit show, right? But the best thing we can do to have a positive change is do the things we can do in our community, and that'll bleed out. So there you go. That's why. Yeah. And this is fun. This has been really fun. Like last week was Kathy Day. Do you know Kathy Day by chance?
The name sounds familiar, but
super cool human, you know, just the different people that I've had. And I want to have, and if you're listening, I want to have all age groups too. I want to hear all different perspectives. Because if someone listens to this and they're about to walk through hospice with their loved one and it can help them, my job's done. There it is. We did it.
Yay.
Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was good. Thanks for listening to Deep Dive with Dr. D. You can follow me on my other social media channels by clicking the link in the description.